Well, top of the morning to you, ladies. My name's Random Buck. Welcome back to the old school series where previously we left off with doing a shop project because I was intelligent and decided to try and tear up the rest of my ground while the ground was technically still frozen. So we ended up breaking a bracket linkage on the 230 disc. So it was on the left side wing. So we had to bring that into the shop, weld that back up, clean it back up, get it ready to go back out into the field. But today we have basically part 2 to the live stream that we also ended up doing on Sunday, which is prepping for planting. Now, what we are going to have to do is we only have $18,000. I only have one tractor to do all of this work, and I don't really have enough time to be doing it with just the one tractor. So what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry to say for all the Massey Ferguson fans, but the little Massey Ferguson is going to be sold. In reality, it is the one tractor that I have had that I just don't really have a use for. I thought I would have more uses for it than I would need, but I was very much proven wrong because I already have the skid steer. The skid steer with the bucket and the pallet forks gets every job that I needed done with that. So this little Massey Ferguson sadly will be going. I can get about $8,000 for it. And the best part about it is that I have a tractor listing that I found down the road. It's a bit more beat up, but it's a 1206 International with 120 horsepower that I can easily use to get the planter that I need to go running in the field, while the 5020 does a lot of the field work since it has the most power. We're going to load this tractor up. We're going to get this sold at market. And then we're going to go and pick up the 1206, which is just down the road about 2.5 miles or so, right after we get stuck. I will actually keep the barrel weight, though. We do want to keep the barrel weight. So on one note, I am very sad to see this Massey go because I did actually want to have some uses for it. Mainly I was going to be like pushing snow and helping move around like products, like I was spilling beans on the ground, but it's hard to do that when you have a tractor that can do that job. Well, the skid steer. I have that skid steer, and that thing is just more compact. It gets the job done easier. It's just better in reality. There's no real need to have two things that one of them can do that job and more. So we're gonna go get this sold, and then we're gonna move up to the neighbors just up the road, and we'll go and see you guys at the 1206. It is nice to know that Daryl is going to be coming out here a little bit more often. He's just finishing up on the last few passes here. We're going to send him up to field 34. We'll send him up to 34 here once he gets done with that so he can start working on that field. And then we should be back on track. By the time I can get fields planted, everything should be pretty much in order. And with that, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. As you do know, we are on the race to the 100,000 public subscriber mark by the end of the year. Is it going to be a trek? Absolutely, but I'm willing to go the distance to try and make that happen this year. Really want to try and break some great content for you guys, and just by doing this stuff, it really just kind of brings it all center, because I don't really like to cheat this stuff. I'm really trying to dive into playing the game right nowadays, and with the knowledge that I'm just trying to learn for this, it just makes the game that much more fun to play. So now that we actually have all that covered, we'll see you guys once we get this little Massey sold and the International bought. And after selling the little Massey Ferguson, in total with front loader, bucket, and the tractor, we ended up getting about $9,500, which that will definitely help offset the price of this International, which, as you guys can tell, looks absolutely spectacular. We do have a bunch of front weights on the front, which that'll be nice. I did call the seller to make sure that I did get the weights with the tractor, or at least a full set, because I don't necessarily know how much that planter is going to be offset when full on this tractor. So I wanted to make sure I had the weights just in case. It does have a row crop wheel setup, so we can plant with the tractor. That's the thing about the 5020. It does not have the right wheel setup to be planting, so I needed a planting tractor, which this will be just perfect for that. It does have 4-rib tires up front, and a pretty much straight up rain cap exhaust. There's no muffler, there's no nothing, so this is just a one bad mamma jamma. Might have to weld the ladder on the side of the tractor so I can actually get in the thing, but we can worry about that later. So we will get this tractor loaded up, as we already have cash on hand, and we will have to talk to the bank to make sure we can finance a bit of the corn seeds, so that way we're not going to be completely just struggling in debt. So we're going to take care of all of that phone work off camera here, because that's going to Probably take a little bit to get everything pieced out, but we'll let you guys know when we're a little bit more stable with where we're at. So to make matters actually better, we talked down the farmer to 12.5 because he says the tractor has an alignment issue up front. Now, of course, the wheels are a little bit like tilted in, but he also is having a problem where the alignment itself, the wheels are tilted like this one's a little bit facing this way and this one's a little bit facing this way. So these front tires are rubbing really bad. So I am going to have to replace those front tires before we really get anything going. So I did talk him down, so we got about $2,500 extra to spend on tires, but I also still need to go and buy seeds. So we're going to get this tractor brought back to the farm, and then we're going to get on the phone with our Pioneer dealer so that we can start picking up our corn seed, because we're going to get about 2 pallets worth of corn seed and 2 pallets worth of soybean seed. I think that should kind of even out because the amount of field that I have to actually plant and go by shouldn't be too much to offset. I will have to look into the prices of chemicals, so it might almost be like I go 1 pallet, and then a pallet worth of spray, which I think just by what we're doing, it's not going to take that much. I could also be very wrong, and I have been very wrong before. All I know is that I'm just trying to plan as much as I can so I do not have to borrow that much money. As we all know, the more you own the bank, the more the bank owns you. And we do not want that here, which I think I still already have a pretty substantial loan going. I haven't looked in a while, so I can't really confirm or deny. But it's just a quick little skip down the road. That was the really nice thing. We ended up taking the Massey down the road a little bit further. That's where the guy who wanted to buy the tractor was. But I think Daryl should be really close to finishing up here. If not, he's on his last pass. Oh, no, he's done. He's done. Okay, so I guess Daryl's just taking a breather, but we're going to get him set up and started on field plot 34, just north of us. And we should be underway. Going to need to fuel him up, though. That is a big certain. So while this is refueling because our pump on this is not the fastest, we will get on the phone with Pioneer and get our seeds ordered. So even though our catalog here consists of a couple different styles of seed, what we are looking for here is the maize or corn seed. And I think I'm going to be looking at 2 pallets here, which I'm pretty sure just 1 pallet could probably do for the majority of this field, knowing how much these seed pallets go. But I would like to have a little bit extra in case things go wrong. So we will confirm our order for those 2. And then our soybean seed, which is going to take a little bit more money, will cost us about $200 more. Should be able to buy those. Pioneer has those ready for us to go. We just need to make our trip up there, but we also need to look into our pesticides, and the fertilizer itself. I think we're going to go with the Helm Pro fertilizer IBC tank, as it seems to be like the best bang for my buck. We'll order just 1 of those, but I also want to probably look into the Corteva herbicide. As a round goes here, this stuff performs a little bit better on that. So with that all said and done, we are left with $4,000 to my name. That seems like it's going to be fun to try and cover. So we're going to get on the phone with the bank, as I don't necessarily know exactly how much left we have going on for this. Shut him off. And that's about, I'd say, 60 to 70% full. So we're just going to run into town, let this go. Daryl says he'll be back in a couple minutes. He can get that going, and we'll take care of business. And to start off taking care of business, we need to get this bad boy up and prepped, hooked up, and, ready to do the planting. So why sit around and wait when we can just pop this thing on the Kinsey? I really do like this tractor. As you guys actually know, back in FS19, when I used to run the old school series in the 80s, and I did record some of that stuff, I actually had a trike front, I believe 706 or 806, that had what we like to call the ice cream box on it. So this is kind of paying tribute to the ice cream box in reality. Which makes me feel good, because I like having tributes done in these kinds of games. But hopefully we're going to be able to make some more money off of doing it like this, since we got an 8-row planter, so the fields that we got, it shouldn't technically, be too big of a problem. Get our hydraulics hooked up. This was the one thing I didn't really plan. I'm not 100% sure if I got it in this door or in the big door, which means if I got it in the big door, I'm going to have to back out the combine. But I don't think I need to do that. I think I just have to turn a very sharp left and I can get it out the main door here, or the side door. Oh, don't hit anything, please. The last thing I need right now is to go and talk to Kinsey. Sweet! So we got that taken care of. We'll get this pressing the clutch to shift the gears. And we'll get lined up in our first field here, which, like I said, this should be soybeans. I'll get this taken care of. So we are ready to head out, and we also got Daryl switched around over here, so he's going to be set to go. He's tilling up our land on that. This little plot, that's because this little chunk sticks out on the backside of the tree line, so we're going to take care of that last. Plus, we also going to leave that so in case we do need to fill up, we kind of have an area that's not all torn up and we won't get the tractor stuck. That tractor, when the tank is empty, almost takes a quarter of a tank of that little fuel tank in the back of the Jeep, so we will have to watch that, but right now, we got a mission and we got to get to Pioneer, so we'll see you guys at the seed dealer where we're going to get in touch with those guys, and we already got them their money, so more than likely I'll have to get on the phone with the bank, so yay! Finances! Alright, Alan. Thank you, sir. I'll be making sure we can get that payment plan out so we can get this stuff taken care of. Will do. Thank you, sir. Alright, so that was Alan, that was my bank guy that I just ended up calling. I got confirmed to have a $40,000 loan, putting me at $240,000 total in the hole. We did arrive at Pioneer, and there is our supplies sitting out front. We'll make sure we got them everything that we need to taken care of with those guys up in the office. But to save myself some money, that is one thing that I did do. Is it's not a huge fee, but a loading fee, especially with some of these products. I don't need to be paying that right now, especially now that I have $40,000 extra dollars I need to be paying off. But we'll get all of our supplies here loaded up since we kind of need that to be able to do our job. We are going to be planting beans first since I'm going to have the planter set for beans with the International. And then we're going to swap to corn right after that since the last of our fields are going to be planted in corn. So without further ado, let's get these products loaded up. And with that being taken care of, since we already prepaid over the catalog, we are set to move back to homeward bound. So we have the seeder filled up. We actually put the truck in the shed. Now I'm actually going to do two things. One, I'm going to wash off the Chevy, give that thing a little bit of a bath since it's kind of getting, you know, a little bit dirty. But I also kind of realized when I looked at the crop calendar that, well, la-di-da, you can't plant corn till April, or soybeans for that matter. So we kind of just, you know, wasted all that time and we can't even do anything for a month. So what we'll do actually is get the 230 hooked up to our International here, and we're going to go and kind of make the seed beds, you know, a little bit more smooth and ready for planting rather than just trying to plant in plowed ground. So we'll take care of that, and we're also going to wash off the Chevy here. So Daryl will be clicking away over there doing that while we are going to wash off this. So we'll kind of give you guys a little bit of a work showcase of what we're going to be doing so we can wait till tomorrow so we can start planting. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, basically.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. 'Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life isn't just right. like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind. I'm trying to save your time. In case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list. Girl, you can skip this funny business. 'Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me. I got everything that I need. But there is breakneck, paycheck, rat race. What's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from. Hell, you can keep your 9 to 5. 'Cause I'm happy with the simple life.
Okay, so situation being, we've had a couple different changes happen. We had Kevin come out, and he's currently been running the roller on field 33. We've also had field 32 and 31 rolled, so those are now ready to go as seed beds. Corey has come out, and he's going to be running our 1206 with the 230 disc. Daryl right now is going to be taking off. He's going to go grab lunch for us, since that should be within the hour here. And I am going to be putting back the 5020 and getting our fuel tank filled up. So the next time you will see us, we will have the 1206 getting hooked up to the planter, and we're going to be planting some corn and beans. We'll actually be able to do that now. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Tomorrow.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome now to actual planting. So we kind of are running into a slight problem where I think it's the realistic seeder mod, so I might actually have to take this out, sadly, to use this thing. But in essence, for some reason, this planter is only planting corn. Like, if I put the corn seed or the soybean seed in, it only wants to plant corn. So we'll kind of have to look into that. But for right now, we are going to fill up on corn seed, and we are going to just make our cornfield first. So this is our first cornfield that we're going to be planting, as our second cornfield is right there, 31, since that was beans last time. So with that filled up, we're going to plant 34 here first, then we're going to jump to 31, since this has already been set up for corn, and then we'll jump to soybeans once we can kind of figure out what's going on with the planter. So without further ado, let's get some planting in. So the nice thing about having this international now is, yes, I may actually be in a whopping amount of debt, which for some reason it's costing me almost $8,000 to pay these guys to come out here and help me out. But hey, when harvest time comes, I believe we will reap the benefit of everything else, because we actually have all the supplies we need to make a plentiful year. This Kinsey, however, I don't think it's really going to make planting season any slower. Like, yes, planting 8 rows at a time is going to take a minute, but with 2 headland passes, I don't think this is going to take very long. Just for the sole fact, this thing moves pretty quickly. If I shift up, I don't know if I'm able to plant faster than 8. I don't think you'd want to plant faster than 8. Oh, we can go 9. Nice. But like that, you're going 9 miles an hour, and you're pulling 8 rows at a time. Like, this can go pretty quickly. These fields aren't tremendously huge. So I'll kind of keep going back and forth, make the headland, have some fun with this. I do want to see how well Kevin can get that field done over there. The problem with field 33 is that because I made that roadway that goes through all the way to the highway, if I were to use Easy Dev to, like, change what it does, like, just, it'll change the whole field and basically cover up the road. So I can't really do anything on that field, like, automatically, so I have to do stuff manually. The roller that I have over there was Kevin's, actually. He brought over. It's just an old steel roller. But I told him to hook it up to the 3600 and basically go hell's bells. But I always just feel like I'm moving along pretty quickly while I do this stuff. Like I said, it's not like I'm making huge passes towards this, but the 8 row, it makes it nice because, for one, you have an 8 row header. So if I make the 2 headland passes, it means I got to take 2 passes with the corn header to get the field's headlands done. And then I can go back and forth, straight forward and backwards. I think I'm going to make the lines go east-west. That seems like the most logical way to be doing this. Luckily, I don't have to do any tree work down here, as all the branches seem to be pretty high up from where the crop will be. Kevin seems to be rolling around just fine over there. Haha, no pun intended. But he says he'll be fine. He's got a sweatshirt, he's got a hat on, so even though it's like only 60 degrees out, we'll need the guy to be getting sunburned in the middle of April, so. Obviously, we're a little bit further ahead in the clocks-wise than real life, but sometimes you do have to jump ahead just a little bit to kind of get some content in, so this is about as far stretched as I'm going to be getting ahead of the ball game, so hopefully that does it for you guys. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. We're going to let Corey take care of the rest of that field, get everything nice and spiffied up. I did also end up finding out that my controller, actually I can use that to help navigate my camera, so I can make that really smooth. So big shout out to my MSI controller, as it was a really big personnel in making the cinematic shots for this one. So be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You guys already know who is in it, and I shall see you all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out.